Joining me right now is House Majority Leader and Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise. Leader, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, good morning, Maria. Great to be with you.
I know the whole membership was looking forward to you coming back. I want to get your reaction to what you saw yesterday in Texas.
Well, you saw very different contrasts. You saw a photo op by President Biden. He created this mess. Everybody recognizes that. He came in day one, remember, ended the Remain in Mexico protocols that President Trump had in place that were negotiated between our two countries that were working to stop illegals from coming in. Joe Biden mandated catch and release. So if you come in, even if you were caught by our Border Patrol agents, you were released into the country. We don't even know where they're going. Governors don't even know if a busload of 50 people or a plane full of illegals show up in a state. The governor or the mayor doesn't even know about that. So Joe Biden created this mess. And then you have Donald Trump showed up at Eagle Pass with Governor Abbott, which, by the way, when Joe Biden says he wants to solve this problem, ask him this question. Why is Joe Biden suing the governor of Texas right now when Abbott put up the razor wire to at least try to stop the flow of illegals coming in to the state of Texas? Right now, Joe Biden's in court to take the razor wire down because Joe Biden wants more illegals coming into the country. And he won't work with us in the House. We passed a bill to actually stop the flow of illegals. Joe Biden issued a veto threat on that bill. Joe Biden wants open borders. Donald Trump secured the border, and he will secure it again when he's president. But our country shouldn't have to wait until January to solve this problem because, as you pointed out, with Lake and Riley, with other examples, unfortunately, every week people are dying because of illegals coming into our country who have horrible criminal backgrounds and want to do people harm and are doing people harm in America.
Yeah, I mean, Congressman, maybe, but it's if President Trump becomes president again, right? It's if, because I'm reading a story this morning from The Federalist, and it's called 9 Ways the Feds Are Using Biden Bucks to Rig the 2024 Election. And it goes through all the federal agencies that Joe Biden has put on watch to actually engage voters and supply voter registration services on agency premises. And that includes the Office of Personnel Management, the Department of Education, the Department of Health and Human Services, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Department of Labor, the Department of Interior, the Department of the Treasury. OK, so what are you all doing about it on the Republican side as the government, Biden's administration seems to be using a whole-on government approach to get people to vote Democrat?
Yeah, you know, and you've seen the weaponization of government. In fact, we set up a committee just to look into the weaponization of government. There are a lot of lawsuits when Joe Biden said, hey, we're going to waive student loan debt. That was taken to court. Ultimately, the court said, no, he can't do that. He's going to continue to push the envelope. And look, if the election was held today, we would win. I think we'd run the table. The election's not today. It's 8 months from now. And as you pointed out, I think they're going to pull out every stop. We need to be pulling out every stop as well. And we're going to do that. But I think the country's fed up. The country really doesn't like the direction under Joe Biden, under this failed administration. Higher taxes, which yielded to higher spending, higher inflation. People are paying more for everything. They're sick of it. They don't want an open border. They're watching chaos all around the world. All of our allies under attack by enemies. And Joe Biden's only made it worse. Donald Trump, you didn't have these problems. You had a thriving economy. You had a secure border. You had peace around the world. You didn't have conflicts like this. And I think that contrast is going to continue to shine through. It's why President Trump is leading in a lot of swing states like Pennsylvania, like Michigan, like Wisconsin.
So you believe that the Republicans can do what the Democrats are doing in terms of getting out the vote? Because just one example, the Education Department and its role in carrying out Biden's executive order. They are telling colleges and universities to make a good faith effort to make mail voter registration forms widely available to students and informed colleges that they may use work-study funds, work-study money, that's taxpayer money, which are used to provide part-time campus jobs to help students with tuition costs. They can use that to pay students to support voter registration activities. They're using taxpayer money to vote Democrat. You know that.
Right. And a lot of that's being challenged and will be challenged in the courts. One of the things, Maria, we've got to do, and look, this is something that I think everybody recognizes this year, we have got to push our voters wherever the laws, and every state has laws that say you can vote early. We've got to push our voters to vote early because the other side's doing it. And if we just sit back and say, no, we're only going to vote on Election Day, I wish every state had only Election Day except for our military that were serving overseas, and you had to show picture ID. That's not the law in most states. And so wherever the law says, you can vote 3 weeks early, we need to be encouraging our voters to vote early as well, because if they're banking 40% of the Democrat vote before Election Day, and we're all waiting to Election Day, and it might rain, you might have other issues, you don't want to take that risk. And in fact, we won't win if we don't play by the rules, and that means maximizing the rules, just like they're going to do. We better be doing the same thing.
Well, playing by the rules and moving the goalposts are also happening because let's talk about the economics that you're facing right now. The Senate and the House passed the bipartisan government funding bill yesterday. This moves the funding deadlines for 12 appropriation bills to March 8th and March 22nd, rather than March 1st and March 8th. The top line amount on the deal, $1.6 trillion, $866 billion allocated for defense spending, $704 billion allocated for non-defense purposes, Congressman. When are we going to get out of the continuing resolution nightmare that you all are still in?
I think you're going to see us get out of that in the next 2 weeks. Negotiations are still going on, but about half of the bills, 6 of the 12 appropriations bills, there's been agreement on, and the other 6, there's still pretty intense negotiation. We did break the cycle of the omnibus bills. If you remember, under Speaker Pelosi, you would have these 3,000-page bills. It would be the entire government funding, all 12 appropriations bills, packed into one big 3,000-page omnibus monstrosity. It was brought before everybody in Congress to vote on literally the day after it was filed, so nobody had an opportunity to read it. We've changed that. We're also going to have a 72-hour rule for any of the bills that are brought before the House for these appropriations bills so that everybody can read them. And, that's a different approach. But at the end of the day, we've got to just continue to move the needle and lower spending and get our economy back on track. Joe Biden's not helping in that regard. I mean, you look at his policies, you highlight his policies all the time. He's continuing to move a far radical left agenda. That's not where the country is. And I think that's going to be his biggest Achilles heel come November, when voters have a real say in the direction of our country moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just Democrats, though. I mean, Republicans are also divided on how to spend money, right? I mean, yesterday or earlier this week, we heard Mitch McConnell right there with Chuck Schumer talking about money going to Ukraine. Now, Senator McConnell will be stepping down as Republican leader in November. Texas Senator John Cornyn officially announcing he's running to replace McConnell. A lot of big changes happening in the Republican Party. First, former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy resigning. Both RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel and Mitch McConnell stepping down this year, Congressman. And, you still have this focus on Ukraine over the focus on the border. Let's listen to Chuck Schumer, who, attended that White House meeting and came out of the meeting and said the priority was Ukraine. Watch this.
The overwhelming sentiment in that meeting is we got to do Ukraine now. And there are other issues, including border, which we should address, but not now. We said to the Speaker, get it done. If you don't do the right thing, whatever the immediate politics are, you will regret it.
Your reaction, how come the border is still not the priority?
Yeah, my response to Chuck Schumer is exactly that. The border is America's #1 priority. It's surely House Republicans. And Speaker Johnson was in that meeting. It might have been 5 against 1 in some cases, but Speaker Johnson held the line and made it clear that we're fighting to secure America's border. We want to help our allies around the world, but we need to start with America first. And we've got a major crisis. And all of that needs to be on the table at the same time. There's been over $100 billion approved for Ukraine. And it's important that Putin get defeated. But at the same time, it's even more important we secure America's border. And we've laid out to President Biden how to do it. He can do it on his own. And let's keep that in mind first. Joe Biden started this crisis on his first day when he undid all the policies that were working under Donald Trump. He can fix it, but he won't. So we've passed a bill through the House that'll fix it. We need a negotiation on that, how to secure America's border.
All right. We will leave it there and keep watching. Congressman, great to see you. Thank you so much, House Majority Leader and Congressman Steve Scalise. Thank you, sir.
Great being with you, Marie. Thanks.